guys, one more review video for you guys to do on Friday or Monday, and then we'll meet on Tuesday. All right, let's go back to looking at our two-step equations with fractions in them again. Again, we see a couple things that we are frustrating to see on the bottom here. So let's handle those real quick. Whoop. Race. All right, so we're gonna need to multiply by something to get rid of the 7 and the 2, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna turn this fraction right here into a mixed number to make it easier. I know that 1.5 is the same thing as 3/2. So 3/2 x minus 6/7 equals 5 1/7. I'm gonna leave this one as a mixed number, and you'll see why in a second. Okay. All right. So 2 and 7. I need to multiply them both sides by something that gets rid of the 2 and the 7. Well, the 2 will get rid of a 2, right? And there's no way to really break down a 7 smaller. So we're going to have to multiply times 2 times 7, which is 14. That would be what we call our least common multiple in this case. Right. So I'm going to multiply first here and then here. Okay. So when I multiply the first term, the 2's are going to eliminate each other. I'm going to be left with a 7 and a 3 on top. 7 times 3 is 21. I got to keep that negative sign. So I got a 21x there. Then I am going to erase this because I didn't mean to erase the whole 2. All right. Then I'm going to multiply the second term. So if I'm multiplying the second term, the 7's eliminate each other. And I'm left with a 2 and a 6. Look, change this to plus and negative. 2 times 6 is 12. So I'm going to have negative 12. All right, that looks nicer. All right, usually I have you change them into a mixed number just because it's easier that way. The reason I didn't on this one is my mixed number would be 36 over 7. And 36 times 14 is just really large. So here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to show you something else. 5 plus 1/7. That's 5 1/7, correct? Yes, it is. So I'm going to multiply that times 14. Or I can also call it 2 times 7, right? That's what I wrote originally. So let's write 2 times 7. All right. 5 times 2 is 10. Times 7 is 70. So I'm going to have 70 over here. And then for the second fraction, this is just distributive. Same thing that I was doing earlier. For the second fraction, I'm going to be left with 2, right? My 7's cancel. And I'm left plus 2. That's 72. Now, that looked complicated, but we just did the distributive property, and it was not. 72 equals negative 12 plus negative 21x. All right, what do I do from here? You know what to do. Add 12. Add 12. This would be a 4. This will be 84. This would be a negative 21x. All right. What do I do now? Well, this is 21 times x. I'm going to divide by 21. Negative 21. All right. So 21 fits into 84 4 times. Is my answer positive or negative? Well, it's going to be negative because I have a positive divided by a negative. Bloop. That wasn't too bad. All right, final one for today. 3's and 2's, not too bad, right? Okay, all right. Let's multiply both sides by something to get rid of a 3 and a 2? Well, let's just do a 3 and a 2. A 3 and a 2. All right. Let's start with this one. This is why I'm going to do something wrong on purpose to show you guys, and then I'm going to show you the right way to do it, okay? The reason I asked you to change it into mixed numbers is because a lot of students want to take this 3 times 2 times 1 and a third x. They want to take this, be quiet, phone, and they want to knock out the 3's and just be left with 2 times this, right? And then, like, what do you do with 1, 2x? Is that 2, right? That is a bit confusing. So what we really have to do is do it the correct way, the way that it is, right? This is 3 times 2 times 1 and a third x is really 1x plus a third x. Do we see how 1x plus a third x would be 1 and 1/3 x? Yeah, that's what that is. So we got to separate out the whole number from the fraction, okay? Now, this is easier, right? I multiply times this, and I multiply times this. 6 times 1x is going to be 6x. For the second term, I can eliminate these 3's, and I'm going to be left with 2x. So my final answer is going to be 8x. Now, that was only this part of the equation. We still have to do the second part of the equation, okay? So the answer to the first part of the equation, 8x. Now let's do the second part of the equation. I'll switch colors. Second part of the equation. All right, second part of the equation. Let's write it out the long way. Hopefully you're on a different sheet of paper. There is not a lot of room on this one. Ooh, don't forget this is a negative 3.5x. Negative 3.5. Okay. So we've got negative 3 plus negative 1/2. That's going to equal negative 3.5, which is the same thing that I've got up here, right? Same thing. Boop. Okay. All right, multiply this first term. 6 times 3 is 18. That's going to be negative. Multiply the second term. The 2's are going to get rid of each other. And I'll be left with 3 and negative 1. All right, let's get rid of this. Hopefully you're on a different sheet of paper. You're not going to be erasing and get rid of work, but I don't have a lot of room. Okay, so on the left side, I'm left with that. On the right side, we're going to split this up, remember? We got negative 15 plus a negative 1/2. It's going to be negative 15.5, right? 3 times 2 here. All right. Let's do this term first. Oh, good Lord. 15 times 6. Well, 15 times 2 is 30. 15 times 4 would be 60. And 15 times 6 would be 90. Okay, so we got negative 90 plus, I'm going to get rid of this 2 and this 2 and get negative 3. That's going to leave us with negative 93 on this side. And on this side, I've got my 8x plus negative 21. I just combined these two. All right, so we're going to add 21 to this side. and add 21 to this side, which would be this number right here. All right, and I'm going to get 8x equals. These are different signs, so we're subtracting, keeping the sign of the bigger number. 3 minus 1 is 2. 9 minus 2 is 7. All right. Keep the sign of the larger number. That's negative 72. Now we got to divide by 8. Divide by 8. 8 times 9 is 72. Keep my negative sign. Bloop. That was a weird looking circle. All right. That's it for today. If you continue on with this worksheet, you're like, I need some more practice with that. You're not going to do this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, or this one. But there are 3, 6, and 9 more problems down there for you to practice on. Let's see. If I had to choose 3 that I wanted you to do, I would choose this one, this one, and this one. All right. Hope you guys have a good day and you're having a good break. See you Tuesday.